when you go to heaven, okay, so you're going to become one of the cloud of witnesses. And I think one of the things you're going to do is you're going to get to know Jesus in a very real way, and you're going to be going, oh, if I had known now, if I had known then what I know now, how would have I had lived my life different? What would I have done differently? And I know that the cloud of witnesses are there. They're intercession for us to believe that Jesus is who he says he is, and for us to step forth into that, because they are made complete in us. And as we walk in the fulfillment of what the Lord is saying, the promise that the Lord gave to them will be manifested and will be complete in us believing that Jesus is who he is. So really, we are Christ's ambassadors on the face of the earth. So we're going to be doing, when we get there, we're going to be praying, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and we see clearly what it is in heaven. So by faith, we're in this realm, we're saying thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so we bring that light. We're bringers of light. So we bring the light into the darkness. It's not to come into agreement with the darkness, not to be overcome by the darkness, but Lord, what are you doing in the midst of that? And let your light manifest through me. Let your spirit of truth, that spirit of truth manifest through me and declare your kingdom, because that's what Jesus did. His whole thing was the kingdom of heaven is here. That was it, and he manifested the kingdom of heaven on earth. And so we as a church, we should be that reflection and allow his light to shine through us. And it's that spirit of truth within us that allows, when we come in agreement with that spirit, with his spirit of truth, I think that's what allows that his light to really be seen through us. So, there's different verses in the New Testament that talks about the fellowship of his suffering. And there's different things God's doing in the midst of that. It says Jesus learned by the things he suffered. So, I think in Hebrews. So, but one of those things is that I talked about is he's helping us find the keyhole of that place of truth that Jesus overcame. So it's like we have to push through all the other stuff that's happening. But what happens is, when you come out of that place of self, and you come out of that place of leaning on your own understanding, and I call it self-analyzing the situation, and moving more into that Isaiah 11, how do you see this situation? How do you see this person? There really is, in that place, there's a river of grace that's there. And there's a wind of his presence that's there. And when we come out of trying to carry that and push against that ourselves under our own understanding and our own strength, and we try and we're going to muscle this thing, and we're going to make it conform to our will, but when we come out of that and say, Lord, not my will be done but yours, and part of you laying your life down is really coming out of your own understanding. It's like it's a shell, and it's like, and you come out under that, and then you begin to it really takes you into that place of his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And so what that really is, there's two yokes in that. When Lord showed there's two yokes, one's him and one's you. And he gets in there and you get in there, and he begins to carry the weight. And so you're in this stream of grace, you're in that current of the wind of his presence, and he actually carries you in that process. He holds you up, he strengthens you, he speaks truth to you. The enemy's speaking doubt and unbelief, he's speaking truth to you. And really it holds you up in that place. But you really can, there's a stream of grace in the midst of that. But you have to trust. Part of that, the hardest part that I've seen is, and I'm right there, it's like the Lord put me in a situation that I had absolutely no control of. And he did that because he knew if I could control it, I was gonna push the eject button. I was out of there. I was gonna push the eject button, and I was gonna pull the parachute, and I was gone. You know, he knew that. But he put me in a situation where there was no parachute, there was no eject button. And but the hardest part in that is allowing ourselves to almost get to that place of need, to letting us get to a place where we know that somebody needs to carry us, or letting ourselves get to a place of, if I get down that low, will he really catch me? You know, it's just, that's the hardest part, is letting ourselves go to that place. But when you get in that place, what happens is, the reality is, there's a current of his presence and his wind, and it takes you to a place that is miles above where you could take yourself. I mean, and what he talked about, the promises. Okay, so he speaks the promise early on. Then he puts us in a situation we have very little control over, but yet that really is, it's the whole process is taking us out of self-ability to fix the problem, so that we lean on him, and he launches us into a place that is so far beyond our ability. And that's that stream of grace. And you get to where you don't just flow in that, you live in that. Once you, that's an overcoming spirit. That's a birthing of an overcomer. And once you move into that, you'll stay in that. It's like you'll never go back. It's like that literally is a birthing. That is the equivalent of a caterpillar being transformed into a butterfly. That butterfly never goes back to being a caterpillar again. It's forever changed. But it's only in that transformation that he can fulfill that desire, that when he crawled on the ground, the frustration was there because he knew he was created to fly. It's only in that transformation that we can fulfill that. Does that make sense? And so it's knowing that if we find ourselves in a difficult situation, it's not the Lord punishing us. He is birthing us into a place of an overcomer. It's a higher realm, place of authority. And I hate to say it's a higher place of authority, because we have the authority anyway. We really have the authority. It just, we don't know we have it. Or we're afraid to step into it and use it. You know, or there's a lot there. So it's really understanding who he is, and we understand who he is as overcomer, and he is our breaker anointing. And the identity of who we are in him, all of a sudden it begins to mesh in this different place. So, does that make sense? So the Lord gave me that this morning, and I'm thinking, okay, Lord, either people are in that, but I think either people are in that, but possibly there's things that are coming up that might feel like warfare, that might feel like the fellowship of the suffering. But it really is, I really think it's a season of the Lord taking people into a place of, how would I say? Maybe it is a little bit of a transformation, but I think it's coming into more of a fullness of identity, so we can really fulfill and become who he promised us to be, and who we were all excited about when God gives us that promise. I mean, at the very beginning, everybody's like, yes, God, you know, it's like, God's put a stamp of approval on him. I've got my ticket. I'm on the train. I'm good, you know, no more bumps. And then we go through this, like, God, I thought you loved me. Do you even know my name? You know, it's like, have you forsaken me? And it's like, that really that's the fulfillment of that. That's the caterpillar that's gone into the cocoon. And it's like, there's a confinement that's there. I can't move. It's restricted. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. And all of a sudden, you know, I can't function the way I did. Things that used to work don't work, and I've got these weird things growing on my back that I don't know what they are. It's making the cocoon tighter, and I don't, you know, it's just, sometimes that's uncomfortable, but again, it goes back to being able to see the Father's redemptive purpose, but then identify the redemptive process, and to rest in